I'm going to introduce Mark Robinson. Now, Mark's actually a good friend of mine. And what Mark's going to teach us is when we make money, what are we going to do with it? Because sometimes use it, Maureen. That's interesting. Because sometimes, we'll reinvest it. Sometimes we reinvest it back into the business. But how important is it? And Mark's going to teach you guys some strategies, why it's so important to actually take some of that money and start to get it working for you. Have a real clear line of where your business is and where your investments are. So this is going to be, a stellar 90 minutes, and the whole outcome of this is to start you thinking differently about how you use your money. All right? So Mark's bio is really impressive, but what really strikes me is that he's created 7 successful companies in 4 years, has conducted over $217 million worth of property transactions. He's written books, he's spoken on stages. Very lucky to have Mark Robinson here, so please give him a huge round of applause.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Thanks, guys. So, look, I'm excited, even here, because I get to do a lot of speaking. I get to play with a lot of the mentors at the back, and even I myself have learned quite a few things in this weekend. I already know what I'm going to be doing. I was out the back yesterday morning smashing out my LinkedIn profile. I've got 13,000 connections on LinkedIn. I've got 500 requests still waiting for me to check them out. I have no idea how I got them, to be honest with you. It's just people want to follow you, and you're sort of back when you're sort of learning in this game, you sometimes need to fake it before you make it. Have you heard that? Yeah. So even though we were doing quite well successfully, the people that I wanted to mentor had 5,000 people on LinkedIn, 5,000 friends on Facebook. So 5-6 years ago, I just went, be my friend, be my friend, be my friend, be my friend, right? Just so that I could get the numbers up to get that perception of where I wanted to be. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, and I'm going to open this up to Steve and the VIP members. If you have something that you'd like to send out to LinkedIn, I'm more than willing to help endorse that, right? So you'll have access to that network as well as part of the VIP membership, yeah? So, what I love the most is I love what I do. I'm very passionate about it, because who doesn't like money? Yeah? But what I want to do now is I'm going to try and fit as much as I can in 90 minutes, because that's all I have. I don't know what I had to do to get 2 spots, Steve. Maybe didn't pay you enough, or whatever the case is. Maybe next time, yeah? So what I want to do, though, is a real quick test. So pull out your pens. And I want you to write a dollar figure. And this is the test. Some of you may have done this before. How much money do you want to earn in the next 12 months? Write that down. Turnover will do, just whatever you guys want to do. Currently, how many streams of income do you have that will help you get there? Now, the next 3 questions, it's about the energy of money. And when I first did this, I learnt that I was very good at making money. I was even better at letting it go. All right? It was the keeping part that we sort of had to work on. Knowing your current situation, right, your financial situation, how much money would you be willing to spend on your partner as for a gift or whatever? It doesn't have to be for birthday. It's just, what would you spend on them right now? If they're in the room, hide your answer. Yeah. Yeah. The next question is, knowing your current financial situation, how much money would you be comfortable with your partner spending on you? Is it? And the third one is, knowing your current situation, how much would you be comfortable to spend on yourself? And what those 3 questions do is, the first one is about what your your learnings or your energy around how you make money, right? How comfortable you are actually making money. And some of you have sort of gone, I don't want to sound too salesy, right, when I'm in doing stuff. But who thinks they're not in sales? Yeah? So everybody knows they're in sales, yeah? And if you're absolutely passionate about what you do, right, to me, selling is serving, right? One of my favorite speakers is John DeMartini, and he talks about, if you believe in it, you sell with integrity, it's serving your audience, yeah? So we've been playing ourselves personally. Actually, just finish that off. So the second one's about the energy of keeping money, and then the third one is about the energy of letting it go. So there's no right or wrong answer, but what you'll find is if you've got, I don't know, say $100 here, 50 here, and 1,000 here, right? You can tell that where your energies need to be focused on and work on with those three energies. Does everyone believe that money is just energy? Yeah? Cool. So the more you believe that, the more you know how to make it, the more you know how to keep it, and the more you know how to let it go in the right areas, what happens? Starts growing perpetually, yeah? Which is fun. Who's up for that? Yeah? Cool. So, what I want to do today is just start a conversation. That's all I'm up here to do. Is just talk about pulling out all the hard, bloody work we do as business owners. Yeah? Who takes it? Who's got their life pretty easy at the moment? They're working 2 hours, a 4-hour working week as they talk crap about, yeah? Yeah? I know a guy who knows Tim Ferriss, and he said he's never seen that guy work 4 hours in a week in his life, right? It's not unachievable, but you've got to do it in a certain way, yeah? Does that make sense? Cool. So who's open to have a conversation? Yeah? Nice. So yeah, quickly about me, guys. Experienced business owner, I'm an investor. I practice what I preach. I'm CEO of Acquire Wealth Solutions. We're a group of financial services companies. And we've created winning the wealth game. Now, a couple of years ago, I couldn't believe it, but nobody had trademarked the wealth game. Guess who owns the trademark now? Yeah, amen. How cool is that? Yeah? Author, international speaker. We've been involved now in $265 million worth of property transactions with our clients and ourselves. I call myself an entrepreneur wealth strategist because I believe that your business is one of your most important wealth creation tools that you can possibly have. But I'll give you some truth. If you think for 1 second that you're going to retire on the sale of your business, you are dreaming, okay? And I don't want to be too blunt so early on, but that's the truth. Would you rather me fluffy it up or tell the truth? Yeah, right? Something like 32 or 38% of business owners are aged 60 years or older right now. So when they go to sell, your business better be damn good, right? So when we look at buying businesses, we look at it as an absolute investment. Right? When we build businesses, we look at how much money, time, and effort are we willing to invest into that business. Who here treats their business like an investment? Yeah? Who really should have got out of their business years ago, right? A couple of businesses, you go, man, why am I still in it? Yeah? And if you can make decisions like that about your business and investment, then we're on to something cool. Is that making sense? Yeah, cool. So this is some of the goals that we did last year. We had an amazing year last year. We went to South Africa, my wife and I. We went and saw the Big Five. Went and spoke on a stage over there, which was really cool. We disbanded our business, right? We sold one, we closed one down. We added 2 more streams of income. Living in our comfort zone on the beautiful Sunshine Coast in Queensland. 2 minutes, 5 beaches. Your summer down here, or my summer down here now, was our winter, right? Absolutely glorious. We were living in our comfort zone. And what do I do when I'm preaching to my clients is I'm telling you, get out of your comfort zone. You're not going to be able to grow, right, if you stay there. So what did I do? I said, hey, what's the complete opposite to the Sunshine Coast? Sydney, yeah? I did chicken out. We went to Manly. Right, and it's nice. Took my beautiful family, my 2 girls and my lovely wife are at the back there. They're cool. They are part of me and what I do. We had fun. We took them around the world. We spent six weeks on the road. We went to Disneyland, LA, San Diego, New York. Went and saw Wicked. Hey, girls, so cool on Broadway. New York, London, Stonehenge, Paris, Venice, Florence, Rome. Went to New Zealand, and then we moved to Sydney, yeah? And the reason why I say that is, would you like to talk to somebody who actually is preaching or practicing what they preach? Yeah? Is that a fair comment? So you want your financial advisor, your strategist, whatever it is, to be making money, yeah? Yes. You would, wouldn't you? You know, if he's not, I think one of the funniest things I ever saw was a guy who I knew was a financial planner. He had a dirty white shirt, he had a crooked tie, a smoke hanging out of his mouth, going to buy lotto tickets and then getting into this crummy Toyota Corolla beat up thing, yeah? Do you really want to get advice from that? No. All right. So I am licensed. I've also, the reason why my clients like me the most is because I'm actually very property orientated. Okay, so I'm not a managed fund style investor. I'm all about control. So I do a lot of direct investing. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because I believe, and when you study the absolute wealthy people, the one thing they have in common is control over what they do. Whether it's in their investments, business, time, they are in pure control, yeah? And that's what we look at. This is my lovely new client, my lovely wife. I was going to say something, but I'll leave that till later. Maria's come on board, and what I love the most is the fact that she gets where I'm coming from. A genuine and caring man who speaks and acts from the heart and is helping me to create the life of my dreams and help others. All right? Now, who does Facebook in this room? Who's on Facebook? Yeah? If you ever see me on Facebook, I am myself. I swear. I give, well, he's gone now. I used to give Kevin Rudd a lot of stick, Julia Gillard, give Tony Abbott a bit, unions, hate them with a passion. Like, you see me as an absolute, like I'm real, right? Because my target audience, if we want to talk about that, is not on Facebook, yeah? The funny thing is because I'm being so real on Facebook, I'm now actually getting clients who want to deal with me on Facebook, yeah? It's making me laugh, but I'm loving it, right? So this year alone, I've made just over $40,000 in fees from Facebook, just by sticking it to the man. Is that cool? So I believe you need to be genuine in your conversations. Now, I wouldn't be doing, I must admit, I wouldn't be doing the sort of things I do on Facebook on LinkedIn, right? Different audience, right? But if you just go out and just be yourself, because this is me, yeah? I'm not for everybody. I do go and buy Steve tequila shots because he smiles. And we shouldn't have tequila shots. We have a lot of fun, and that's what it's about. So one of the biggest things that we have is, you know, if we choose to do business together, we got to have fun along the way, right? I'm going to swear at you, you're going to swear at me. We're going to hang up on people occasionally. We're going to ring each other up and say, have you settled down now? Yes, cool. Is everyone up for that? Yeah? Because you want the truth, don't you? Yeah? No mollycoddling, all that sort of rubbish. So what I want to know now, though, is what do you guys want from me out of this next 75 minutes? Because this is really about you, right? I can talk till the cows come home. I've put a bit of a structure through here because I systemize everything that I do, but I want to know, what do you guys want from me? Nothing? I'm out. Done, Steve.
I want to know how I can grow from a little person to a larger person so I can give back to others.
Nice, okay. You want to grow? Yep. What else?
I want to know how to properly assess and where to best put the money.
Do some due diligence?
To invest back in our business, or whether to,
Sure.
you know, if you've got a really good opportunity, you don't want to waste it, but if by the same token, yeah.
Yep, okay, cool. Income streams, yep.
Self-managed super.
Nice, yep. Passive, I love that word. Self-managed super funds, Smurfs as we call them. Yeah, anything else?
Pay off investment properties.
Yep, okay, that's cool. I'd say debt reduction. Yeah, cool. What else?
Is it better to invest in commercial or residential?
Yep, cool. Com versus resi? Yep, cool. Great question.
Shares versus property.
Yeah, nice. The age-old question, shares versus property. Nice. Leverage? Yeah. I thought you said cleavage. I'm thinking, man. What else? That'll do for now. Yeah, if you wanted to know something else, guys, be up for it. So I'm actually not going to talk about any of that. All right, because that's exciting, sexy stuff. I'm going to go through the boring stuff. Is that cool? Yeah? No? Yeah. I'm just going to give you 5 simple steps, and I am going to cover that because I wouldn't be that rude, to get you passive income of about $115,000 a year. Who'd like that? Yeah? Cool. And when I show you it and you go, is that it? I go, yes, that is it. That is all you need to do to get there, right? The reasons why we do this is because when you have your foundations set, you can build some really sexy stuff on top of it that makes you rich faster. Who's up for that? How many people in this room would take bigger risks knowing that regardless of what they do, they can retire comfortably on $115,000 a year? You would, wouldn't you? You'd have a crack at some stuff, wouldn't you? So that's what I'm going to show you today. Everyone up for that? Yes. Great. Now, what happens if I show you that it's absolutely boring? Are we okay for that?
Yeah.
Yep, some things are.
Some things have to be boring. They do. We were speaking about this last night, wasn't we, Shaz? About if we get this in place, then we can do things like, has anyone heard of the term passive development? Right? Basically, we do deals like this. You dump in $150,000. You buy a unit that's valued at $380,000. You only have to fork out $300,000, and when it's settled, you refinance it. You refinance it at $300,000. You get your 150 grand back. You're an 80% loan to value ratio, positively geared property, and then you go and do another one 6 months later. Yeah? Now, if I start the conversation with that, you're going to go, Mark, that's too good to be true. You're full of. Yeah, make sense? So if we do the boring stuff and get that out of the way, then we get to play with some real cool stuff. Yeah? Because then we can build your wealth, pay down debt. Who wanted to pay down debt? Everyone. Pay down debt? Yeah? Yeah. So, step 1, I need to know what you're trying to achieve. Right? My favorite saying is you cannot fire an arrow and call whatever you hit the target. Yeah? So if you're going to your accountant or your advisor and Steve and they don't know where you're going, we can't really help you as best as we can. Yeah? So you want to go down, and I'm not going to go into too much details. This is on our trip around the world. This is some of my favourites. That was the worst hot dog of my life in Central Park. Dead set. I've had better hot dogs at the footy. My goal is to wear this T-shirt of mine on stage. I love it. It's Despicable Me. I've got a photo of me actually doing that in Disneyland. Paris, Venice. Who's been to Venice on the gondolas? How unromantic is that? Eh? It's hilarious.
And does the Vegas one count?
True. The Vegas, yeah, it probably is, you know. That has zero relevance. I just like it. All right, it's a bit of me, yeah? Who feels as though Wall Street's done that to us a couple of times recently? So who's heard of the SMART goal method? Yep. we use this consistently because it's something that we believe works. You've got to be specific, measurable, make it achievable, relevant and timely, okay? If I go too fast, guys, Steve, you can give this to them. They can have the handout. But what's missing? If you talk to people who have done that and they do it consistently, there's something missing. It's the ass. You need to start setting some smart ass goals, right? Because I'm a bit of a smart ass. Because if you don't set your goals, if you don't take an action plan, if you don't simplify and then systemize your business, you're going to continually do the same thing over and over again. Does that make sense? Yeah? So the missing part is the ass. Now, because I love Taryn so much, she is absolutely a classy lady. I've added a couple to that because this is Taryn's. She's all class, yeah? Because I believe you also need to have it connected to your values, right? If you're doing something that's not congruent with your values, something will go down and go down in a hurry, right? And then you want to leverage everything you possibly can. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's the missing part to your goals. And when you actually start to then go to a 12-week action plan, Steve, you run yours on a 12-week? Yeah. So you then nut that down to a daily task, right? It's so much easier. If your goal is to do $100,000 worth of sales in a month, it is much easier to know that you've just got to make 3 phone calls a day than make $100,000 a month, yeah? It gets you to the same point, but we don't freak out as much. We just got to pick up the phone 3 times every day and we're on target. Does that make sense? Yeah? And when you do things with what Justin and Jeff have done, when you leverage your time and you start getting better and better at that, then all of a sudden you get to do whatever you want to do. Yeah? Is that cool? So we practice what we preach. We literally could live anywhere in the world and still be a financial advisor here in Australia and do what we do, because we're doing what we're telling you guys that you can do, yeah? Did everyone think that's cool? I thought that was cool, because I'm a smart ass, yeah? And the connected to values and leverage came through your talk yesterday, so I thought it was cool. Here's 7 quick steps. Know what you want. Know when you want it. List the rewards and the consequences of you not achieving your goals, right? Identify potential obstacles, determine the skills and knowledge you must acquire, compile a list of all the peoples, the groups. I have been in a community like Steve's now for over 5 years. It is the best investment I've ever done in my life, because you get to leverage off other business owners wanting to achieve the same results you do. Yeah? For $6.5 grand, it's the smartest thing I can think of, especially what Steve's doing and wanting to do it in a localized environment, yeah? I love what he's doing. So guys, congratulations, Steve, mate. It's awesome. Oh. Design a clear step-by-step plan, and Steve's going to do that right at the end of, so you'll be able to walk out of here with a 12-week plan, knowing what you need to achieve to get to your next level, yeah? How cool is that? Some mistakes. I'm finding that a lot of people are not determining their benefits with their goals. And the biggest mistake I see as an advisor is you're actually not putting a costing towards that goal as well. Does that make sense? Like if you want a car and you know that you wanted a brand new car and it's worth $50,000 and you want a brand new car every 5 years, you should be saving 10 grand a year to buy that car, or you've got to finance it and pay it off every 5 years to have that car. How are you going to fund that $10,000 a year? Yeah? So most of us in the room would be going, well, I'll pay for it out of my business or my personal income. Yeah? Now, we live in Manly. We went from having a mortgage of $350 a week to 4-bedroom plus office, 3-car garage to this 3-bedroom townhouse. talk about a weight off our shoulders per se, when you've got 6 skips, you've got Lifeline loving us and all that sort of stuff. We're paying $800 a week or something? Like, it cracks us up, the price that you have to pay rent-wise in Sydney. It's nice, but we wouldn't pay $1 million for it, because apparently that's what it's worth, yeah? And the reason why we're okay with it is because we've actually got investments that are paying that, and then personally, we only have to pay $400 a week, right? So our lifestyle did not change from having a mortgage of $350 a week to $400 a week rent. Does that make sense? Yeah? So when you start getting your investments in order, you can start going, well, this investment's going to pay for this part of my life, this investment's going to pay for this part of my life, da-da-da-da-da. All of a sudden, when you, Peter, what do you recommend to get paid personally? 80 grand a year? Do you stick around that level? Or are you okay to pay people more? No, just self-employed. 80 grand, bang. The rest of it goes through trusts or companies and, yep. So we personally make $80,000 each, my wife and I, and that's all we're ever going to earn on a personal level. Do you get that? Yeah? The cool thing about that is when you've got your rent pretty much covered, you've got your cars getting paid for by the business, and you've got other things paying for things, it actually is quite hard to spend 160 grand a year. Now, I know a lot of you ladies are going, bullshit, I can do that. Just give me a chance, yeah? I'm in. But and the next thing I talk about money rules, but when you get really clear and define on your money rules, you actually do struggle to spend it, yeah? Especially when you've got your assets going around and going through your wealth account, etc., what I talk about soon. So, now that we have who wanted to know how to grow?
Me.
Maureen? Yeah, cool. So, you've got to get to know where you want to be first, yeah? You then now need to know a starting point. Plain and simple. You've got to take a snapshot of your financial situation, your business situation, your investment situation as you stand today. No matter how pretty or ugly that may be, right? Everything's fixable. So you want to start focusing on your net worth, right? That's what we do a lot of. What is your assets minus your liabilities equals your net worth. And that's what we measure on a quarterly basis to move you up through to where you want to be. Does that make sense? Yep. Any questions so far? I always do a good job to hear. Here's some assets. Cash. Who owns gold in the room? Who thinks buying some gold's just cool? Yeah? It is cool. We actually have what they call unallocated gold, and we buy it on literally like a monthly plan. Even though we know gold is going down, it's part of our money rules and it's part of our investment strategy to just buy it, right? An ounce a month, da-da-da-da-da. And the reason we're doing that is just insurance, right? At some point, this world is going to realize it's bankrupt, it's going to stop printing money, and it's going to go back to gold as a base, yeah? It's just a matter of time. The minute we realize that gold is not a commodity, it's an asset, it'll go from $1,000 an ounce to 10 grand overnight. Who's up for that? Yeah? Lads, I highly recommend you leave it in the vault and not bring it home, because I believe that my wife would shave it and come with some nice bling. Yeah? Oil and gas. We look at a bit of oil and gas as well. We've got clients who are in North Dakota. They've invested about $60,000. They're getting a return of about 53% per annum. Right? Year in, year out. Who's up for that? Who thinks it's too good to be true? Nice. These aren't assets. They're fun. Yeah? I should put a picture of Manly's ferry, because I call it my boat. Because I like the Manly ferry. Yeah, okay. These are your liabilities. Credit cards, mortgages, accountants. Did I say that? I say that aloud. I've only met Peter and Rob yesterday, but I can dead set I could recommend them to the cows come home because one, they're in this room, so they're obviously different to other bloody accountants, and two, they were getting shit that we were talking about last night. Yeah? They get it. So cool, guys. I will tell my story if I've got time about accountants, and the reason why I give them a little bit of stick is because they cost me personally about 750 grand last year. Yeah. Who's up for doing that every week? Yeah, I get a pain in the chest just thinking about it. Jeez. Yeah, it was an interesting 18 months. Step 2, you need to start defining your money rules, right? Because without your money rules, you will just go and do stuff willy-nilly without knowing what you're actually doing, okay? And I'm very passionate about this because it will save you time, money, and effort when you have these nutted out, okay? So a really good friend of ours, and a new business partner, actually, friend, client, new business partner, she calls herself the spiritual geek, all right, because she's right into mindset, into a few woo-woo things that work. I don't know why they work or how they work, they just do. Does everyone sort of know some of that stuff? You just go, yeah, I don't want to know how it works, but I'm glad it does, yeah? Action shot. Thank you. Got to get marketing in here while we're at it, yeah? So she's designed this Excel spreadsheet that we'll be launching soon, and basically it'll run you through to help you design your money rules, yeah? So when it's available, Steve, I'll let you know and you can give it to the VIPs. Yeah, it's a brilliant tool. You'll absolutely love it. And she's a guru with Excel. That's why she calls herself the spiritual geek, yeah? Here it is. I'm going to show you guys what you need to do to actually create your money rules. Who's up for that? Yeah? Cool. Who's bored shitless now? No? When I bring clients on board, we systemize the steps forward, right? And I won't let you get here until you've done this, right? Because I know if we don't do this and something goes wrong here, what's going to happen? Sometimes worse. You have to go all the way back here, yeah? So if you look at your business and you went, man, Mark, if I lost 750 grand last year, I'd be out. I'd be out of the game. In fact, wouldn't be at the starting line. I would actually be way back here. Yeah? So when you practice what you preach, now and this is, again, integrity is one of my biggest and highest values. So, and the reason why I say that is because a guy questioned my integrity on Facebook the other day, and I hammered him about it. We could have said to our clients in this business, sorry guys, it didn't work. But we did the opposite, and we said, guys, it didn't work. We're going to pay out of our own pocket 750 grand to fix whatever we can. Is that cool? Yeah? So, but we didn't have to start all over again, right? We're in a brand new phase of our business, and we're actually loving it, and we're pumping it. We're smashing goals and everything. In fact, that $750,000 mistake that happened has been the best thing that's happened to us. Yeah? It's a costly education, isn't it? Yeah, should have gone to university, 40 grand. It's not that. So, purpose of wealth is to create a permanent wealth and cash flow away from your business, right? You've got to really start to understand that if you keep pumping every single dollar back into your investment, you won't have a retirement, right? Because what if that one investment goes south? That's the key, guys. And you just got to start, yeah? And I'll show you how to do it today. So you've got to start looking at things in your money rules. What is most important to you? Return on investment or return on income? Right? And I explain that in more details in our conversations. So how do you measure it? I look at it in terms of how do you measure wealth? It's the number of days that you can maintain without having to go back to work. Does that make sense? Yeah? So I know that if I stopped work today, we would run out of money at about the age 72 if I never made another dollar. Who wants to start working at 72? Yeah? 72, I want to join swingers clubs and I want to go, I mean, something like that. I used to flat with this Mick. He was Pommy guy, and his goal in life was to be shot at the age of 92 by a jealous lover. All right, I just think, man, go Mick, you do that. If you get your whys right, if your reason or your why, your purpose, and going back to what Taryn's talking about, your brand and what your values are, the hows will come. Does that make sense? Yeah? Well, do you guys, what am I doing? I don't like PowerPoints, I like to just talk. We'll start here. Did you see the last bit? I'm lost. There we go. Do you guys have enough reasons why? Yeah? Not yet? Soon? Well, after you've done your 12-week plan? It really is important to get that why in your business. Because if you know why you're doing what you're doing, the hows come along. Yeah? It's important to get that why. I love doing what I do. We're going to ramp up our business this year because I want to actually get out there to more and more people to teach them and educate them about how important it is to get the foundations right. Yeah? And some of the things that we're going to do are actually going to be transforming some industries. I'm going to smash the property industry in the next report I do. I've already smashed the industry. Who's in an industry super fund? Who's in CBUS or Hester or something like that, yeah? I've got a report, and again, I'll give it to you, Steve, if whoever wants it. It basically proves to them that they're not there for you, right? There's a thing called a trustee company that sits above that super fund, and it charges the super fund a fee, right? Millions and millions of dollars of fees that goes up to whoever owns the trustee company. Most of the point, it's a union that owns that trustee company, right? And what do unions spend their money on? Hookers, apparently. Yeah. Yeah? Absolutely. So it's about control, and we're going to talk about self-managed super funds and how you take control of your wealth, yeah? No matter what it is. You know, in property, I got offered $50,000 the other week to sell a property worth $500. You're going, what? Did you know that that's the sort of commissions that are in these properties out there that these property spruiking companies are actually doing? Yeah? The property was shit. It absolutely stunk. I've always had a saying is, if you have to pay me too much to sell it, what's wrong with it? Right? And when I share with you how my fee structures are, you'll know that it's very biased towards what you guys want, not what I want, right? And not what other people want me to do. Does that make sense? Yep. So what are money rules? They're tools to guide your financial decisions on spending, saving, and investing. Spending, saving, and investing. And why do you need money rules? Because all advisors are dodgy buggers. Well, we're not, right? But we should be passionate about what we do. But you want to make sure that we're driving your decisions on your goals. Does that make sense? So when you guys, we decide to work together, what happens is you will make all the decisions. I'm there to guide you. I'm there to educate you guys enough so that when it comes time for you to go and dump some money in North Dakota, you're going to understand it was the right thing to do at the right time, and you made the decision, and the only person you can blame is you made it. Does that make sense? Yeah. But I won't let you make the decision until I know that you get why you made that decision. Is that a better way to be an advisor? Yeah. Because what it does is it empowers you guys, not me. Yeah? If you feel stuck with me, I haven't done my job right, yeah? My goal is to empower you so you make the decisions and only you are to blame. Is that empowering?
Yes.
Is that cool? Yep. Yeah? So it's a lot of education in terms of everything that we do. And in my team of experts, I've got an expert in renovations, I've got an expert in subdivisions, developments, buy and hold strategies, NRAS properties. Has anyone heard of NRAS? National Rental Affordability Scheme? Great little scheme by the government. Slips out occasionally. But it actually is a brilliant. It'll cash flow positive the property up the wazoo. They give you a $10,000 tax credit every year to buy these types of properties. Man, it's cool, right? I had a client who bought one. It was $349,000. The rent was $400 a week. The catch is you have to discount that rent by 20%. Right? On $400 a week, 20% is $80. So she's got to do it at $320 a week. But then the government gives you 10 grand a year, which is $200 a week. So all of a sudden you're on $520 a week for a $350,000 investment. Who's up for that? Yep. That is cool, yeah? That was cash flow positive, I think, by about $180 a week. How many properties can you buy when you're cash flow positive $180 a week? As many as you can get your bloody hands on, yeah? So we should be passionate about it, but we need to make sure that you guys are in control of all the decisions you do. Is that cool? Yeah. All right. How am I going for time? I like to... Sweet. Here it is, guys. Here's a systematic approach. Part of everything we do. We love systemizing. Who'd like to be the next McDonald's? Yeah? Crap hamburgers, multi-billion-dollar company run by 15-year-olds. Gold, isn't it? Yeah. Determine your cash flow needs. Decide how much liquid you need to be comfortable. You will never, ever, ever max yourselves out in my company. Right? If you have to max yourself out to do something, I'm not doing it. Yeah? You need that sleep at night factor. And we show you how you can use things like equity in your properties to put buffers in place. So if something goes wrong, you don't have to worry about it. You could have a property that's not tenanted for 6 months and not care. Does that make sense? We choose properties that won't be vacant for 6 months to start with. Analyze your current asset allocation. Choose your investment objective. And decide how much participation you want and how much time you have towards it. Yeah? I save a lot of your time. I do a lot of due diligence on all the investments that we do, but I still give you the choice based on your goals. Is that cool? Imagine being presented with just 2 properties to go, hey, which one do you want? Here's all the due diligence, go make a decision. Yeah? Is that going to save you a lot of time? Hands up who's got 20 hours a week right now to do the due diligence on an investment. Was that enough pain, Jeff? Am I pushing the pain a bit? Select your risk approach, aim for specific target rates of return, right? I have cash sitting in a bank that only gets me 3 or 4%, if that, right? Should I be smarter with it? Yeah, probably. But it's my cash. You need cash, right? What happens if you were living on credit only or you had a line of credit? Does everyone know what a line of credit is? Mm-hmm. Yep. And the bank closed it on you. What would happen then? You need some liquid, right? Gold is liquid. You can sell it instantly. Cash in the bank next day. So you mix it up, yeah? Know your tax ramifications of what your investments are going to be. And re-examine your asset classes constantly. Yeah? Determine the percentage of your money in each class. Even though we are pro-property, right, we try to spread the risk out so that if one asset class takes a dive, you're still going to be okay. Yeah? Does everyone know what the actual amount you need to live on for a comfortable retirement? The capital amount is about $1 million, yep. But actual income-wise, it's $54,300, right? However, you must have paid off your home as well. And that's for a comfortable retirement. I don't think I could live in Sydney on 54 grand. Does that make sense? So when we show you at the end of this that how you can actually get to $115,000, and that's what we call a comfortable retirement, it's going to make life a lot easier over the next 20 odd years, isn't it? Or 5 or 10, depending on where we're at on the cycle. In Steve's case, he's got 15 max. You're 55 this year, Steve? No, you're looking good for 55. Here's the 9 steps. Cash flow. You need to look at your revenue modelling to determine your current income needs, your future income needs, and then your gaps in either area. Yeah? Getting a few nods, a few vacant stares. Where are we at? Have I just got you guys going, what the? I don't get to have much fun as the other guys, all right? It's not fair. Look at your liquidity. Do you need immediate cash flow? Can you put something away for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Right? Let's have a look at what it is that you're trying to achieve. Set your money rules accordingly. Have a look at your assets. Have you got some lazy assets floating around? Right? Have you actually got property that's got equity in there that you're not using to its best advantage? Yeah? Have a look at everything. What are the hidden opportunities? 9 times out of 10, if I sat with you and looked at your business, we could rip out at least 10 to 20,000 bucks or reduce expenses and start building your wealth by out of your business. Does that make sense? Is it a good asset to have on your team? Somebody who actually knows what a business should look like? Yeah? It's cool, isn't it? Have a look at your asset allocation. Now, some of the things that we do, quite often when we're testing stuff, right, we're losing our own money before we bring it to the market. Does that make sense? Wherever possible, I will put my own skin in the game before I'll recommend it to you. Not always, can't always do it, doesn't fit with my money rules, but it might fit with yours, yeah? There are so many ways to make money in this world, it's not funny, yeah? In America, you can actually buy life insurance policies on people and wait till they die and make 100% return on your investment. Now, who thinks that's pretty morbid, going, hey, I wouldn't do that, yeah? What they do, though, is someone might have a $2 million life insurance policy, they'll buy it off them for $1 million, and 9 times out of 10, they need that $1 million because they're dying anyway. So you either prolongs his life, he gets his cancer done, or he goes out with a bang. Party's up, gone, yeah? So it's actually not a bad investment, and I think it's actually quite a nice way to actually, one, help somebody out towards the end. Does that make sense? Has everyone heard of doing that? Yeah. It's insane, isn't it? But how cool is that? I love it. Gas and oil, precious metals, you've got to work out what is going to be in your asset classes and what you're going to focus on, yeah? Investment goal, are you looking for cash flow or capital growth? What is the strategy of the investment, yeah? Who thinks you should have cash flow? Who thinks you should have capital growth? Who thinks you should have both? Amen. Yeah, amen. What are you guys going to be? Active, passive, or pactive? Bit of both. Yeah? We actually prefer this approach because we want you guys to get involved so you understand what we're doing and then let us do our job. Does that make sense? You don't want to be buying and selling shares, anything like that. You want to have it done for you, but you want to understand the strategy. You want to know why we're buying that share. You want to know why we're selling it when we're selling it and all that sort of stuff, yeah? Cool, I'm going to race through this, guys, because I want to get to some real cool, sexy stuff. Risk approach, avoid the risk, accept the risk, manage it or transfer it, right? Who's got a risk management strategy in your business? Nobody. So you need to start working out what, this is a phrase I coined quite some time ago, is you need to work out what you can afford to lose and insure yourself for the difference, right? Because insurance is a key part of your overall asset protection strategy, whatever you need to protect, yeah? Things like if you've got high cash flow in your business and you're not sure about the staff, whether they'll steal or not, you've got to make sure you've got to have the right insurances in place, yeah? Could you afford, if you found out that one of your staff members was taking 30 grand a month out of your business and you didn't know for 6 months? Does that make sense? Yeah? What is your asset protection? If there was a flood coming through, how much stock could you lose? What are you insured for? All part of your risk management. Is that making sense? All your public liability insurances, your et cetera, et cetera. What your rate of return is, right? Your rate of return shouldn't be the maximum that I can get. Yeah? You have different rates of return versus the risk that you're prepared to take in the asset class that you've chosen. Is that making sense? Who's on your team? One of the key components that I do for my clients is I get you to understand and get you to have the conversations that you need with the rest of your team, or I help provide you with the rest of the team you need. Yeah? Because even though I give accountants quite a bit of stick, is when you have the right conversation with the accountant, they will actually get excited and start working for you and not the ATO. Does that make sense? Yeah. But you need to know the conversation to have with them. Yeah? So imagine having a guy that actually understands what you need to have with a conversation with your mortgage broker or your bank or your real estate agent or whatever that person is in your team. Yeah? Is that making sense? Yeah. In the renovation side of things, imagine if you had access to distressed sales, that you could go to your database and say, hey, I've got access to these distressed sales. We can buy this for 500K. We'll do the reno on it, and then you'll be able to sell it for 750. How cool would that be? Yeah, you might do a couple yourself. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool team to have, isn't it? Yeah. One of our experts, renovations, she's got it down pat. She goes, why go to Bunnings when you can go to Beijing? Right? She gets all her stuff in from China, right? $20,000 kitchens for about $5,000 or something. How much more profitability would your renovations be, right, if you can do stuff like that? Is that a good strategy? Yeah. Would you have to link that back to what your core values are? You guys might go, man, I wouldn't buy anything from China. I've got to put my name to it, you know what I mean?
Customs for 12 days.
Yours did? Oh, right. So you got to be aware of that stuff, yeah?
That's why I work Christmas Eve.
Right. Re-examine and review. Re-examine and review. Re-examine and review. What do we have to do? Yeah. Apparently things change in life. If your personal money rules are incompatible with the investment, what should you do? Don't do it. Don't even consider it. Don't even bother looking at it. Yeah? One of the shares that we recommend, I'm not recommending on the stage, guys, general advice warning only, is TATS. Right? Now, I have zero worries about recommending a gambling institution for an investment. However, do you think that fits with everybody's values? No, of Because I personally believe that you have a choice to gamble, right? It's a harsh comment, but I think it's fair, right? And I have family who are gamblers and da-da-da-da, and I've seen the consequences of it, but I'm still okay because of the investment strategy that company gives us. Does that make sense? So when you tie everything back with your values and all the way through it, it becomes part of your brand, doesn't it, yeah? Because what am I to say, you know, it shouldn't be up to me to say, oh, you shouldn't invest in Tats because they're a gambling institution. That's your decision, not mine. Does that make sense? Yes. Yeah, it's not my choice. What your categories are: spending, debt, good, bad, property, business, shares, other investments, wealth accounts. Wealth accounts. So these are all the categories that you've got to start getting your money rules in place to start getting more defined on what you need to do to make money, right? To start bringing in that passive income that we've all been told is out there. Does that make sense? Yeah. We've got 8 streams of income at the moment. One ranges from a couple of $100,000 and right down to $23 a month. Right? Which one do you think is more important? They all are, right? Because the goal is to get it to a point where they all rise to what you need to live on. So if 7 of them disappear, you're still going to be okay. Is that cool? Yeah. And we have fun. Like a client and I just bought a business. It was $150,000 a year income. We paid $300 for it. It gives us a return of about 25% per annum, and it's passively managed. We know with the numbers of that business, we're going to extract. And now that I've got Jeff and Justin on my team, we're probably going to do it even faster, but we know we're going to extract about $1.2 million out of that over the next 24 months. Who thinks that's a cool investment? Yeah? It's pretty good, eh? So I like to have fun. Step 3, this is the most important thing if you're going to take anything out of my presentation today. If you haven't already got one set up, you have to go and set up a wealth account, right? It has to be an account that you cannot have access to via the internet or the ATM, and you have to start putting money in it on a regular basis, however big or small that may be, right? Can I go a little bit woo-woo on you now? Yeah? Whether you believe in God, Buddha, or the universe, whatever it may be, what we found is when you have a wealth account open, the universe starts to say, hey, these people are starting to take care of their house now. Let's give them some more money. Have I lost you? Did you think, get off, you crazy bugger? Yeah? It is important to make that happen, right? So do that. Make sure it's a bank that is literally 30 minutes away. You have to drive to go get your money. It's that important. You are never allowed to spend that on anything but more money investing opportunities, right? So once it gets to whatever the amount is, you then take it in and put it into some shares or some gold, right? Or if it gets large enough, you pull it out as a deposit for another property. Does that make sense? Yep. Could you get smarter and put it into what they call an offset account? Does everyone know what an offset account is? Yeah. Yep. Could you do that? You can, right? But what we find is mentally you stop using it for what it's there for, right? You stop going, oh, I can't take it out of my offset account and invest it in something that's going to make me 25% because I'm saving 5% on my mortgage. You mentally screw with yourself if you do it that way. Yeah? Is that making sense? Yeah? It's a mental thing. It's a mindset. You've got to start changing your mindset around that energy and around the money. Right. With your wealth account. The other thing that we've done recently as well is we've opened up a holiday and a fun account. And the other thing that we've done, which we've found really, really well, and this isn't my idea, it came from T. Harv Eker. Has everyone heard of T. Harv? Yep. He has a don't ask account. So my wife's got a don't ask account, I have a don't ask account, and we put the same amount of money into both of our accounts, and what happens when we spend that? Don't ask. Does that make sense? Yeah? Because it's the yin and the yang of it. If you're saving and investing in it, you also have to spend almost the same amount of money on the other side for the energy release. Yeah? And it's pretty cool when you have a don't ask account. Who'd like one of those? Yeah. Who's thinking, I'm hiring that bugger just so you can tell my wife that I need a don't ask account? He's in. Megan's going, I'll have one, but Steve's not getting one. Asset protection. This is the fundamentals of your foundations. And I focus a lot on this to start with, right? We make sure that whatever situation you are now, we get you protected for where you are and then where you want to be. Does that make sense? If you want to work with me, unless you can prove otherwise, you have to have income protection insurance in place, or I won't take you on as a client. That's how important I believe income protection insurance is. Does that make sense? Yeah? So when we run through a conversation and we're talking about things, we can work out what types of insurances you need, right? Because you don't need a lot that a lot of other advisors recommend, right? If you've got $2 million worth of debt and your surviving a partner can afford $1 million without you, how much life insurance should you have? $1 million. You don't have to set them up, right? Does that make sense? If my wife dies, I'll struggle to find another partner, right? If I die, she's set. She'll get a couple of mil, nice Spanish butler, everything's going well. Does that make sense? Yeah? You've got to have fun. When you're sitting down and you're talking about your partner dying and, you know, you're being crippled, you've got to have a bit of fun around it, otherwise you just go insane, don't you? Yeah? So I call it the Swedish nanny account or the Spanish butler account. Yeah? Does that make sense? Yeah. Most embarrassing thing happened, I was doing a presentation up in Brisbane a couple of weeks ago. And I would normally pick on, I know you guys aren't a couple, but I was picking on this couple, right? And I was saying, you know, mate, if you're dead, you know, if she dies, you're in a world of pain. I actually forgot they were brother and sister. And I woke up about 2 in the morning and I was thinking, why weren't they laughing at my jokes? That normally works really, really well. And I went, oh, that's right, they were brother and sister. That was hilarious. Assets, yeah? Should we start collecting some assets?
Yes.
Can we start collecting some outside of your business?
Yes.
Can we start collecting intelligent assets that will then make you more money so that you can stop working as hard, enjoying the golf, have more money in your don't ask account, etc., etc. Is that cool? It is simple as. So I'm going to change this up a bit, guys, because I've got about 30 left, 20 left, 15, Christ. I was going to run through your risk versus rewards, but I believe you need a little bit of everything, okay? You need cash. You need managed funds to a degree, right? And I'll explain that if I've got time. I like direct shares, and I have one's for capital growth, I have one for incomes, and I trade shares as well. Who's got time to trade shares? Yeah? Why has no one got time to trade shares? You do? Cool. Who would like a tool? Actually, first, does everyone know that 82% of all shares in the world now are traded by computers? That's an unreal stat, isn't it? So what chance do we have as humans to make money trading shares? Yeah? Would you like to see an actual a software program that'll actually buy and sell shares on you based on the same algorithms as these supercomputers? And we're actually, and I can't technically quote the returns we are, but we're getting between 3 and 6% per month. And I'm not lifting a finger. Who'd be up for that? Yeah? Be cool, wouldn't it? The conversation we have before you get to see that would be what? Do you have income protection? Absolutely. You know, is it part of your money rules, right? Do you have it? If you only have, we believe you need 25 grand minimum, and the software is $5,000 to buy, right? And the reason why we say you need a minimum of 25 is to avoid what they call the day trading rules, right? But imagine if you're making sort of, you know, where the worst case we did was about 5 grand in the 12 months, and that's because we had some bloody bugs in it. But imagine if you had $30,000 making $5,000 a year on it, and you had a property that was costing you $5,000 a year. What do you think we could potentially look to do? Yeah? Is that a good holding strategy? Can you see how I start to think outside the box and see what's available out there? Yeah? Just so you know, we've been testing this little baby for 14 months. And now we're ready to promote it because there were bugs in the system. And you know what the biggest bug was? The Australian frickin' internet. I kid you not. We had it on a PC, it wasn't working. But it was working in America on a PC over there. So we put it into a server, that the server was based in Australia. We were still, because technically you can't lose money with this software, right? Because it shouldn't sell it when it's going down. That's how it works. But it was still selling. And we're going, what the hell's happening? So the minute we moved it into a server in America, bang, no bugs, doing what it's meant to be doing, trading like a little baby. I'm making money at night while I'm sleeping. Yeah? Who thinks that's too good to be true? Kinda? It's awesome. I laugh every time I talk to my clients about it. I go, man, this is crazy. Look at it. It's frickin' working. How funny is that? Yeah? Give me 30 grand and let's play. Does that make sense? Yeah? Buy and hold. There's so many strategies about property. You just need to make sure whether you're ready for the ones that are available, right? Like, there's no way I would put you straight into a passive development if you don't have 1 or 2 buy and holds. Does that make sense? Yeah? Why do I want you to have a couple of buy and holds in place? It's long term, and I'm chasing capital. Sorry, with my buy and hold strategies, guys, I am chasing income more so than capital growth. Why would I be doing that? Because I know for a fact that if I can get 3 properties that give you 25K per annum in income, and I do 4 shares, which will give you around $10,000 a year in income, and I'll show you how we do that. How much money is that? 115? Is that about right? 4 shares will give you $10,000 per share, sorry, right? Per share, per annum. Does that seem like a real simple strategy that we could put in place today? Yep. Yeah? Or work towards it over the next 3 or 4 years? It's that simple, right? And then when we have that in place, we then can get some capital growth properties happening, we can do some passive developments, we can start reducing our debt that we have here, right? And then all of a sudden we've got a nice, pretty cruisy retirement, twice as much as you need for a comfortable retirement. Does that make sense? It is that simple, guys. That is the strategy we do. We set up all the controls that we have, all the insurances you need, self-managed super funds if that's what suits you. We look at the buy and hold strategy, we go buy 4 shares, and your platform's done.
Is that per person or per couple?
Per couple, yeah, you know. And if you then turn around and then we do, over the next 5 years, we did 1 a year, a passive development that's going to net you 80K. How much fun are we going to have? Yeah? Now your advisor, depending who they are, we're going to lose some of that in capital gains, right? We're going to minimize it as much as possible, aren't we, Rob? Yeah? But the bottom line is, what I do, this is where people start thinking I'm crazy, is we start to make that as part of your lifestyle. So I want you to take $20,000 out of your profits, and I want you to take your kids to Disneyland, or go camping out bush, or Paris, or whatever it is that your life wants to look like. Because it's not my life, is it? It's your life. We're just as comfortable being in our camper trailer as we are in a 5-star hotel. My wife's far more comfortable in the 5-star hotel than the camper trailer. Yeah? God bless her. Love you, sweetheart. So who thinks this is achievable for yourselves right now, or at least in the next 12, 18, 24 months? Yeah? And like I said right at the start, how much more exciting can we get into business now, knowing that your income or your retirement financial freedom is sorted? It's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah? So, did I cover grow? Yeah. Work out where you want to be, start, assets, assess your due diligence. I've got a set of templates that I can send Steve. He'll distribute them to the members. That is a complete due diligence pack on shares, property, businesses. Who'd be up for that? Yeah, cool. So that'll save me doing that now. Have I shown you the passive income that's achievable? Cool. Self-managed super funds, to me, are the best asset protection strategies, structures that we have on the planet today. Yeah? Now, who's heard the myth that you need 250K as a minimum to be inside a self-managed super fund? Yeah? And why did I say it's a myth? Because you don't, right? But it comes down to what you're going to do with that money before you go race off and set up a self-managed super fund, right? Absolutely. But it comes down to, even before that, what are your goals with the whatever money you have? I've got clients who have set one up with $50,000 and all they're doing is using that trading software, right? Because you can use that inside a super fund, yeah? Would you consider something like that? Because if you can get returns of, look, let's dial it down. Even if you were making 5 or 10% per annum with the software, it doesn't take long before your 50 grand will turn into 100 grand. You can then buy a property with it and keep on trading with the balance, yeah? Can you see how you can start building your long-term wealth on a $50,000, right? What it comes down to is the cost to run a self-managed super fund, yeah? That's where a lot of people go, I can't afford it. My accountant said it's $5,000 to set up and it's 2.5 to 3, 4 grand a bloody year to administer, yeah? So what if I was to tell you that we could do that for you for $135 per month? Would you be open to having a look at it? Because that becomes far more affordable, doesn't it? Yeah? That includes your accounting, your auditing, and your compliance. How cool is that? It's only available through accountants or advisors. You cannot deal with this company direct.
And that comes out
Out of your super. Yep, absolutely. Setup costs, we do the setup costs, guys, at about 2,497, for example. Do you guys do it about that as well? Do now. Sorry, Pete. You should have told me earlier. I would have done it. Again, that can come out of your super as well, right? Yeah, it's insane. You can go and do it yourself. You can get onto bloody ClearDocs and do it yourself, but we don't recommend you do it because what if you stuff up the trust deeds? The real thing about compliance and why we're so sticklers for it is because if you stuff up your self-managed super fund, the tax department will smash you at 48 cents in the dollar. And it's not the income, it's the fund. So if you have a $500,000 fund, they will smack you 250 Gs if you're non-compliant. Who's up for that? Yeah. So we can automate, systemize, simplify your self-managed super fund where you don't have to give a rat's about it, technically. Who's open to that? Yeah? You can have the insurances paid for by your self-managed super fund as well, your income protection, right? Now, I'm a fan of having your income protection inside super, not outside super, even though tax deductibility-wise, it's a better way to do it. But I would rather have those insurances not coming out of your cash flow, but out of your long-term stuff. Does that make sense? Yeah? Does that seem like a good wealth protection strategy? Yeah? Is anyone paying for their income protection out of their cash flow at the moment? Yeah? So we can help you. Bang. Say it's $500 a month. What could we do with that? Right? Thank you. Yes. We turn around and we go, say we saved you $500. You guys determine how that's done, but we would want you to go $100 into our holiday account, $100 into our wealth, and $150 each to our don't ask account. Yeah? Because why do you want to save and have no life for 20 years? We've got clients in New Zealand. They go, Mark, we can afford a Mustang and, bloody hell, I can never remember his proper name. He's called Roach or some bloody thing. Peter. And I said, and Peter wants a boat. And he said, but we don't want to take money out of our offset account because of these reasons. And I looked at him, I said, so when are you going to buy it? Oh, we thought we'd buy it in 10 years' time. I said, would you rather have a kick-ass Mustang, Trumpy? What do you ride? Ducati. Oh, God, Jesus. I'm out. Would you rather ride one now at 40 or one when you're 50? Which would you rather do? Now. So why don't we look at some investments that can pay for your Ducati or that can pay for your boats, yeah? What else is exciting for you guys? Holidays? So imagine if we can start doing that now. Are you open for that? Yeah. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah? 4 greenhouses, 1 hotel. Who's played Monopoly? Who loves it? Who loves the fact that you get to bankrupt everyone else to win? Yeah? Let's not do that in real life. There's plenty to go around, isn't there? Yeah? But it's as simple as that. Except I do it 3 properties, 4 shares, 115 grand a year. Comfortable as. Pretty easy, isn't it? Yeah. Alrighty. Have I got you excited back again? Yes. Cool. So, see if I learned something from LinkedIn. Jeff? So considering all the free time that you currently have to do your due diligence on these 5 simple steps, with goal setting, money rules, wealth account, asset protection, asset accumulation via 8 strategies in property, considering that you have all this time to do all these things, is that enough pain, Jeff? Yeah. Do I keep going? Do I stick it to the man or? All right, gold, silver, whatever it may be, considering that you have all the time in the world to do that. Remembering that I have over 23 years experience in doing this. Investor. I practice what I preach. CEO of Winning the Wealth Game. Author and international speaker. Been involved with over $265 million worth of property transactions. Entrepreneur wealth strategist. Chairman of the Acquire Hope Foundation. Right? We've got our own charity. It's a hand up, not a handout. The 2 that we're doing this year, well, Kiva we've always supported. And I love Kiva because it's a micro lending. Right? So we give them $1,000, they lend it out, they pay it back, comes back to us, and we lend it out again. We've got thousands of dollars going out through Kiva. How cool is that, yeah? The other one that we're doing is also Miracle Babies, because one of my clients is the co-founder of Miracle Babies. And amazing lady, Melinda Cruz. And she's raising money this year by going to actually do the New York Marathon. Now, it's not in my goals to run it, but I'm going to make her do it. So we're actually raising the 12 grand for her. Yeah? How cool is that? So considering all that, with all the goals that I've achieved last year and what we're going to achieve this year, right? My lovely wife and my 2 beautiful daughters weren't meant to know this, but my travel agent emails her by accident saying, is this what you're looking for, Mark? We're going for her 40th. I know she doesn't look 40, but we're going to Fiji for her 40th in a few weeks' time, right? So that's just the start of our trips this year. We're looking at going to Orlando and a couple other places. I think we're going skiing, babe. Yeah? How bloody expensive is it to go a 2-hour drive, the same price you can jump on a plane and go to Queenstown? It's insane, right? Considering that that's what we've done and that's what I've done. Am I on the right track, Jeff? Yes. Yes? Imagine having me in your corner. Yeah? Give you the conversations, research, develop your money rules, help set your goals and all that sort of stuff. Is that a good LinkedIn profile? On the way? So that's that, yeah? Yeah, I'm done.
You're done. Round of applause.
Any questions?